What's up, y'all? I'm TJ, and I post content around strength training and moving your body better. I'm a personal trainer and a strength coach, so this is my approach to strength training and athletic training, so being able to move your body better, faster, stronger. And I want to take all of the information around those topics, moving better, getting stronger, and share that knowledge with y'all. So there's different ways to go about each different type of training. I plan on making these videos to share the different ways to do different things because different tools require different jobs. For today's video, I want to focus on the flexibility and mobility aspect of training. So this is going to be the move better part of it. We're going to do 3 exercises. I want to keep these pretty quick, bite-sized, that you can do as things that you can add into your training routine, and then expand from there as you watch more videos, gain more knowledge, and get a better understanding of how moving better, getting stronger looks for you. So let's kick things off with some foam rolling. I've got my seat / foam roller. Today we are going to focus on our hip mobility. So this is going to be hip flexors. Easy way to think of how to set this up is if you just take your hand, place it right there at the crease of your hip, bring that leg up, you can feel those muscles engaging. And when you feel those muscles engaging, that is exactly what we're going to be foam rolling. So you want to take the foam roller and place it exactly on that spot where you felt those muscles move. And we're going to find a spot that may be slightly uncomfortable. Hold this for 30 seconds. You want to breathe and relax your body.
This is not breathing and relaxing,
right? I see that. A lot of times I see that. Big breaths. Relax your body. The whole purpose of foam rolling is to get your nervous system and your body to relax. And if you're
doing this and you're trying to do right here, nothing about this
says my body is relaxed. Let the shoulders go, hold it, breathe, relax. 30 seconds ideally is the minimum time that you want to hold each position on the foam roller. Since the hip flexors are pretty small muscles, you only have to roll up and down a couple of inches or so. Finding one of those spots, repeat the process, breathe and relax. This is going to be the first part of improving your mobility. So we got foam rolling, stretching, plus some dedicated mobility exercises. Once you do this, spend about 2 minutes or so on your hip flexor, and then you can move on to the other side, repeating the exact same thing. Next, we will get into stretching. So I'll use that same side as an example. We're gonna stretch our hip flexor. What you wanna do is, from this kneeling position, you're gonna have your knee directly under your hip, and then this foot in front of you. You can have it, don't have it stacked in like that. You can bring it a little wider out if you need. This is gonna give you a wider base so that you can be more supported if needed. So from here, we are going to engage our glute. You want to squeeze this butt cheek. This is going to bring us into hip extension. The way stretching works, or the way the body works, is when one muscle contracts, the other muscle, the antagonist muscle, has to lengthen. So a good example of that is when you flex your bicep, your elbow flexes, your forearm has to move, which means your tricep is lengthening. Same idea here with the hip flexor. So squeeze the butt cheek. This is going to bring you into hip extension, which is going to lengthen the psoas a little bit and your hip flexors in general. You're going to reach up. You can either go overhead, or I'm going to do hand behind my head just for the sake of the video to make things a little easier. Keep this glute squeezed the entire time. We're going to go into lateral extension. So that looks like here, slight side bend, and then an outward rotation. What this is going to do is when we go into this lateral extension, we have our glute engaging, so we're in hip extension. And then as we go into that lateral extension, we're gonna get an even deeper stretch going in through that hip flexor. So that's how we want to, yeah, this will work. Glute squeezed, slight side bend, outward rotation out, you're gonna feel this stretch going all the way up in through your hip flexor. Same thing. Breathe, relax, hold it for 30 seconds. If you want to get better at improving your flexibility and mobility, it starts with your breath, getting your nervous system to relax, so that way your muscles can get comfortable in holding that stretch. If you are tensed up and fighting the stretch in different ways, with that being like I said with foam rolling, if you're tensed up and scrunched up, you're sending mixed signals to your body that is not going to allow yourself to relax. So real quick again, knee directly under the hip, fire the glute, hand behind the head, slightly bend towards the opposite side, the side where your front leg is, and then you are going to open towards the ceiling on the side that we're stretching. So once you do that, you'll feel real deep stretch going up and through those hip flexors. Breathe, relax, 30-second hold, and then we get into our next exercise, which is going to be our mobility exercise. For our last exercise, we are going to be standing. You can use a squat rack, a door frame, broomstick, you can have your hand on a wall, anything where you can just support yourself. We're going to build off of that hip extension like we did with the stretching where we're engaging that glute. So we'll set up in a nice staggered stance. You can grab onto your squat rack or whatever it is you're using. We're going to stand with one foot straight. That's going to be our front leg and our balance leg. Back leg, we want to have the balls of our big toe driving into the ground. Knee is straight, glute is engaging, so that way we have this hip extension going so we can feel a little bit of that stretch through that hip flexor. From here, all we're doing is driving our knee up. Knee is going to be parallel with the top of our hip, and then we're pushing our knee out. You can rotate out slightly. Don't try to rotate all the way. Keep your chest as forward as you can, trying to let all of that push happen from your knee coming out. We're gonna come back in, back down, knee straight, fire the glute, feel that stretch for a couple of seconds, drive the knee up, keeping your chest as forward as you can, push your knee out. So we're working on being able to obviously move our leg out. Probably should have finished the rep first, but I'll do it again. So smash the big toe, ball of the big toe down into the ground, fire the glute, feel the stretch, hold it for a couple seconds, knee drives up. You can also dorsiflex your foot if you want, so pulling your toes up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're pushing this knee out as far as we can while trying to keep a relatively straight chest facing forward. Hold this for a couple of seconds, bring that knee back in front of you, and then drive down. We did foam rolling to help loosen up those muscles, give us a little bit of extra range of motion while we get into the stretch to help us get into a deeper stretch, engaging the glute, getting that stretch through the hip flexor, and then that lateral extension to give us even more of a stretch. And then this final mobility exercise, so taking our hips through range of motion by going into full hip extension, driving that foot into the ground, engaging the glute, getting good hip extension, knee drives up. Now we're going into more hip flexion and then opening out, trying to get range of motion with being able to open the hip. Do anywhere from 5 to 8 reps or so. Just make sure that they're good quality reps. The quantity of the reps do not matter as much as the quality of the reps, especially with mobility exercises. So if you did 5 really good reps, that is much better than doing 15 really sloppy reps. So those are gonna be your 3 exercises to help you with better hip mobility. Take what you want from it. And if you want other videos, stay tuned because I have other videos that are gonna cover other topics of mobility. There's gonna be core stuff on how to incorporate all different elements of core training, balance, and strength training. So it's going to be a complete compilation of how to train to be able to move your body better and get stronger. All right, that's it, and I'll see you on the next one. Also, thank you for watching, because I appreciate you guys, and yeah, thank you. So yes, if you like, comment, subscribe. That's what they say at the end of these. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one.